I'm doing just a quick live stream tonight because obviously I have already been live earlier on with my dear friend Ray, and we did a recording, which of course there was a bit of technical issues, but that's still something that can be available if you want to watch the conversation that I had with my friend. That will be amazing. You can find that on this channel page. But tonight I'm just coming along to talk a little bit about the day 24, which is going to be tomorrow. So this is like an earlier on recording. So I'm just doing like a live stream a day before the day, because I really want to try to stay to doing the everyday something on intermittent fasting, and because I'm going into a course for the next couple of days. So today I'm doing a recording or a live stream that will cover the topic I wanted to look at tomorrow. Hopefully tomorrow, if I'm able, I'll do a live stream which will cover what I would have talked about on Thursday, and then on Thursday I'll cover what I'll have talked about on Friday. And that means that then on Friday I will not necessarily have a live stream, or if I have a live stream, it will just be like a quick touch and go. Just because I'm going into a course, and the next couple of days are going to be quite busy for me. So I'm just trying to do these earlier before time so that I don't have to feel like I didn't manage to do what I needed to do. Obviously, I am somebody, as I said, if I commit to something, I ensure that I keep to my words. I'm a woman of my words, so to say. And if I say I'm going to come online and talk about different aspects of my so often, I'll definitely do that. And if I'm not gonna do something, I don't promise things that I won't do. So today I'm just coming along quickly with another topic, because obviously when we were on live earlier on with Ray, we didn't manage to do much at the end because of the connection issues. But hopefully you picked a little bit, one or two things from that conversation. And so let's assume this is day 24 of the intermittent fasting challenge, which of course something that tomorrow I'll come on, but with something else for a different day, just because, as I said, I'm going into a very busy period at work, and because I want to keep this in momentum, that's why I'm doing this recording. This is something that I've really wanted to do for a long time from the beginning. I really, really wanted to do like a stream and talk about different types of apps out there that can be used for intermittent fasting tracking. But because of all the things that have been happening, busyness with work, business with life, I never managed to do that. And so today I just thought, you know what, Claire, just go online. It's only a week to the end of the challenge, but you can still be able to talk a little bit about intermittent fasting. You can still be able to kind of feed back into the different apps, because this is something that Abby has mentioned the time that I was here with her. She spoke about the apps, and people are using apps, and that's I thought, well, why not? I should be able to address a little bit the topic of apps. So I've heard a little bit of a research, and because I am definitely not using any apps, so as I said, I love not to really have to spend money on things that can easily, if I have a phone, I can basically calculate, and it tells me you fasted for 16 hours, it's time for you to eat. And I don't think there is a reason why I should go ahead and have to pay for that. But of course, if you find the apps can actually help you to be able to be more effective, why not go for that? So I'm just going to try to talk a little bit about some different apps which you might find helpful. Some people I know, there's a lady that I think she messaged me the day that I put up a message about my weight loss journey, and she was telling me like that has really motivated them, and they want to try to start on Monday. So they were trying to start intermittent fasting on Monday, and probably this could be a really good way to help you if you're just starting the journey. Personally, as I say, this is going to be a lifestyle thing. I want to continue doing this post next week once the 30 days are finished. That's not the end of my intermittent fasting journey. I will continue with that as the Lord gives me the grace to do that. And so I want to talk a little bit again, as I said, just to talk a bit about these the different apps that can be used. So just kind of again is a guide that I'm trying to put out there. I have one of the apps that I've used before, and I might just be a little bit biased with that app a little bit, but the rest for sure you can try to look at them and try to understand what they do individually. So the first app that was interesting that I found is called Zero. And zero is just zero, sorry, zero fasting tracker. Zero Fasting Tracker is known for its user-friendly interface and fasting timer. So it kind of, in a way, offers customizable fasting plans. It can give you ideas about educational content, and it promises to give you as well supportive community. So if you want people to do life with, if you want to do like kind of fasting within a community, that might be something worth considering, because there is that. And of course, some of these apps, or maybe most of them, are not going to be free apps. So just know that there will be a little bit of cost implication in it. And then there is also MyFitnessPal. I have used MyFitnessPal for ages. I think it's coming to something like maybe 10 years at the moment. And I use MyFitnessPal mainly for calorie tracking. So that's what I use it like, to track the calories. Particularly, I love the times, that seasons when I just want to track my macros. And MyFitnessPal has actually been, as it says, my fitness friend. And I can literally, if there's anything I can never recommend, I will definitely recommend this. But of course, I am not here to recommend any apps. But I just realized there is a feature for tracking fasting periods, and that can be used, of course, for intermittent fasting. But probably you might want to check, because I use the basic app, which doesn't really cost me anything at all. And if you're going to go to activate other extra features, that could be something that you might want to consider. And I think membership on MyFitnessPal, to be fair, is not a lot of money. I think for a monthly membership is about £9.99, which you can convert it depending on the country where you are, plus or minus. And I think some of these apps usually do offer like along like a discount if you're doing, let's say, a year long, if I can say that, sounds like a mouthful, for year long subscription and things like that. The other app that you can think about, or that is available there, is called Fast Habits. This is an app that allows users to set fasting goals, and of course, it offers a timer as well, and provides statistics to track progress. So, if you are kind of, in a way, somebody that wants to establish fasting as part of your habit, and you want to set fasting goals, so you can set fasting goals and say, maybe I would love to fast for 18 hours, or I would like to fast for 15 hours, or I like to fast for the amount of time that you want to fast. That's going to really be able to help you to kind of, in a way, be able to make much sense from your timing. And that's something that, again, you can consider to look at. The next app that I found is what is called the Live Fasting Tracker, which offers fasting tracking and social features for connecting with other users and sharing progress. So you can maybe do this as a community as well, or you can go and find somebody of your tribe to do life together, and then maybe you can share each other's journey. And as you're sharing each other's journey, you can tell one person, like, maybe this is me as an accountability partner, let's go onto Live Fasting Tracker, let's connect it together. It can be good probably for things like couples or siblings or just besties, really, where you can come together, gather together, decide to do it as a group, decide to do it as motivating one another, and that can be really useful at the end of the day. Then the fifth app is what is called the Eat Stop Eat app. And this is an app that is basically based on the popular book by this guy called Brad Pillon. This app provides guidance on intermittent fasting and tracking tools. And of course, I put up a little short today earlier on my channel, where somebody was talking about the difference between time restricted feeding and intermittent fasting. For me, to be honest, semantics is not something I want to go into the arguments. I don't want to argue whether it's time restricted or whether it's intermittent fasting. To me, as long as you're fasting, that's the most important thing. And there is that the Eat Stop Eat is whereby you can be able to set goals when you want to eat, when you want to stop, when you want to eat, and things like that, which is basically the whole definition of it being intermittent. And that's something that you can want to check on. There is also another app which is called Fasten, which is again known for its simplicity. It provides fasting tracking and personalized fasting plans. So again, if you're struggling with getting your own plan that fits you, maybe sometimes you might want to to put in like your age, your gender, your goals, and things like that. And it can do a little bit of personalization. And of course, it's kind of very simplistic in nature, and that can help you probably without it being very what do you say, complicated. Then there is Body First, which offers various fasting plans as well. There is also like tracking of content, and there is of course also educational content about intermittent fasting. So it tells you a little bit about what it is all about. It provides some more like some theory or some educational information about this whole kind of like fasting and a way of approach of your fasting, and that's something you can check it out. And the final app, I'm not mentioning that is the last one, but I just want to do quick apps that I think can be useful and helpful when it comes to intermittent fasting, is what is called the Fastic, which provides again fasting tracking. It provides as well meal plans, a fasting timer, alongside personalized advice. So it's kind of in a way having like a fasting coach. We know Abby has been here and she talked about being a life coach. You can have a health coach, you can have a nutritional coach, but this is kind of like in a way a fasting coach that will come to you, like will give you a bit of personalized advice, and will say, for example, again, as I said, your gender, based on your gender, based on your BMI, based on all these different things. I've seen some apps that actually kind of based on things like your body shape, if you're like an apple shape, if you're a pear shape, all these kind of different things. And these different apps actually offer different things depending on what you really want. Of course, one of the things to think about is that when you're thinking of all these different apps, it can be a good idea if you are kind of using this to start you up on your journey. I can't lie to you that I woke up in the morning and I was able to know how many calories I'm eating and things like that. I know how to plan my meal. Of course, I'm a nutritionist. I know how to plan when to eat, when to stop. But I was finding it like sometimes difficult to kind of just know, okay, I've eaten. From my eyes, I can't just sit back and say, Claire, you've eaten 1,000 calories or 2,000 calories. And if I've got to go and track every single thing and look at the package to say I've eaten a cookie that's 300 calories, it can be a little bit laborious, and it gets to a point it can be overwhelming. But then that's how I came to know about my Fitness Pal, because I connect my Fitness Pal to my Strava running. I connect my Fitness Pal to, I use also my Map My Walk, sorry. So that two apps that I connect to my Fitness Pal, so that they can talk to each other about my exercise and other about my eating and things like that. So for a start, I found it like I was putting in every single calorie, and I've mentioned in some of the recording and before this challenge that I also used to do a little bit of like just kind of in a way coming writing. It was that old school Excel sheet, putting in the things that I've eaten, and my sister could do the donkey work of kind of calculating and saying these are the calories that you've eaten. If I've exercised, she'll tell me approximately this is what you've burned, and then kind of in a way getting that sorted out. But you don't need to do all those things manually. You don't need to sit down with a pen and paper and do a diet diary. Diet diary is a good way. Of course, you can actually diarize everything you're eating, but like, it can be again laborious because it's very manual. It can be again quite time consuming. But if you have some of these apps, I know my Map My Fitness, you can actually also use the paid version. Actually allows you to like scan the meal, so you can scan like your bowl of spaghetti and it will tell you this is like how many calories, so you can want to invest in that. I am a strong believer, as I said, of not having to pay to get these things done, but then sometimes you have to pay for convenience. I've openly mentioned in the last weighing video that I did, I said I'm going to go back to the gym, and it's not going to be a free gym. I'll be paying about £30 to get myself back into the gym every single month and things like that. And even though I know I'll not necessarily do every single day of a gym, I'll still go for my runs, and I just want to go and use the equipment to kind of like do strength training, build a little bit of my muscles and things like that. But then at the end of the day, because of the convenience of being able to exercise in a warm room when it it gets so wet and muddy and icy and snowy, that actually it makes so much sense. And so don't just say like Claire is like anti-paying for stuff. She wants everything cheap. Don't get me wrong. I also pay for stuff. I also pay for convenience. And if you have to pay maybe £10, £20 to kind of just get that starting, and sometimes you can actually just pay for an app to like kind of kickstart your journey. And then once you become much more used to it, you stop paying and you kind of know exactly what you want from it, exactly what you're getting from it. So it doesn't have to be like, oh, it has to be cheap, or of course cheap is good. Cheap is like easy because of course at the end of the day you're trying to kind of do it within convenience so that money never stands, or resources should never become the issue in between you and good health. But whenever you can, or wherever you can get something premium by having to invest in it, look at it like a health investment, isn't it? I invest by going for a run, but then maybe running, I know running every single day is not good for my knees. I've not been feeling well for a while now. I haven't been for a run for a very long time. And that means, because if I had maybe a gym membership at this stage, maybe I could have gone to do just still some strength training to keep the momentum. But because I'm strongly depending on running and my chest hasn't been that strong for it, it means like I've taken a couple of days off. And of course, I'm happy with that because it gives me the opportunity to be able to kind of, in a way, as well, rest as well, allow my body to recover and shake off whatever that I picked up along the line. But don't just sit back and say like everything must be free, even though free stuff is great. But whenever you can, sometimes you'll get more premium value by spending the money. Don't be afraid. You're investing in your own health, you're investing in your own future. And so if you find that you can't just naturally time, I just love using my phone. So I can take my phone and I will go to the calendar and I will set up and say I'm fasting from my last meal is 10 p.m. If and I don't eat at 10 p.m., but I'm just saying if my last meal is 10 p.m. and I want to do 16/8, I can calculate that. It means the next weekday at 10 a.m. it will be 12 hours, and then I just need 12, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2. So that's another 4 hours to make it to 16. So if I eat my meal at 10 p.m. and I eat my next meal at 2 p.m., that's 16 hours of fasting. And then if I've done 16 hours of fasting, then I'll just put a timer to remind me when it gets to 2 p.m., it's time to break the meal. But probably because by 2 p.m., you'll be probably feeling hungry, you not necessarily even need a timer to allow you to be able to kind of get on into starting to eat and things like that. So it might just be, again, be a matter of you deciding and thinking like, well, hang on a minute, it's just getting used to it. And then at the beginning, as I said, it can be a little bit complicated. It can be a little bit difficult. It can be a little bit all those kind of things you can think about. But if you keep on being persistent, and that's why I was suggesting, or I've said, we have been doing 30 days of intermittent fasting because it takes 21 odd days to be able to make anything part of your habit. So if you start the first 2 days and they fail, again, I say, don't beat yourself up. Don't say, because I failed, that's the end of the world. Intermittent fasting was never meant for me. I can never do that. I can never do, whether you want to call it time restricted fasting. No, because you can still be able to do it. And if you find that using apps and using trackers can help you, please, by all means, go for it. Go get those trackers, get tracking your calories, get tracking the things you need to track, because at the end of the day, better something than nothing. And once you become used to it, you know how like an ounce of nuts feels like, or a gram of nuts feels like, or a gram of rice, like a couple of spoons of rice equals to X amount of. Once you know those things, it becomes so easy for you to be able to portion out stuff without necessarily using a scale. You can find that there are also some different there are basically some suggestions in portion sizes and things like that. If you're trying to do like a plan for yourself, once you've done your fasting, you finish your fasting and you're thinking, okay, I want to kind of be able to look at what window when I'm eating, what am I supposed to eat? If you're doing like a meal plan, there are so many different apps which are even sometimes free that can help you do a meal plan. I haven't talked about meal planning throughout this whole journey because I've assumed that once you finish your fasting, you'll go back to your normal eating, but just kind of substituting and ensuring, let's say if my normal eating is eating a lot of carbohydrate, a little bit of protein, and a little bit of like fat and things like that, which I assume that once you start doing, let's say, like the fasting and things like that, you want to try to have more, let's say, protein, have more fruits and vegetables, and then reduce the carb. You can be actually able just to do those healthy adjustments without necessarily having to overhaul the whole of your food. And so if you want to do like meal plans, I find things again like my fitness pal is very easy for you. It can easily suggest meal plans, and again, as I said, it comes sometimes at a cost, and that can be something that can be a little bit like of an issue in itself. But it's not a problem at all. If you want to use those apps, again, as I said, go for it. There's nothing that stops you from using those apps. Feel free to get them. Feel free to do anything that kind of just kickstarts you into momentum. And once you are in momentum, ensuring that you stay in momentum makes the whole difference. And so this has been what I wanted to cover on day 24 of the challenge. And that means like tomorrow, if I come online, I'll be covering the content for day 25, which is on Thursday. And if I come on Thursday online, I'll be covering the content on Friday, simply because, as I said, I'm going into a course, into training for the next 3 days. I'm going to be doing a first aid training, and that means it's going to just be a little bit difficult. And of course, schools have resumed. So it's getting into that busy moment for my life as well, having to do school runs and school pickups and drop-offs, and work as well is becoming more busier. And so I'm trying to see a schedule that can actually help me to still be able to do my live streams, because again, it's just for me easier. I don't have to think about having to edit videos and things like that. I can still be able to share content that is qualitative with you guys and still be able to connect with my tribe. As usual, thank you so much to all of you who continue to watch our videos, who continue to like, who continue to share, who continue to subscribe. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If you haven't thought about it, again, would you consider to, when you're watching this and you find it useful, why not just leave us a thumbs up? If you find it useful, why not share it to your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your neighbor, your acquaintances, whoever that means a lot to you, your husband, your wife, whoever that is you're doing life together with. And if you're doing this challenge and you find this has been helpful, why not share this with your somebody that you know? Just talk to them about the challenge and maybe pass on this information. It could be helpful and useful for one person or the other. If you aren't subscribed and you're watching this content, why not just click that subscribe button? It goes quite a lot to help us to know to do more content, and of course to kind of in a way reach you guys, because that's the whole goal. As we continue to empower you, inspire you on, so that you can continue to live a healthy life. And so I'm going to bring this to an end, and my prayer is that until next time, you will prosper, you'll continue to prosper and be in good health, even as your souls prosper. I pray you have a great and fantastic thing, and I shall see you again in the next live stream, if I can say that. Good night, everyone. God bless, every blessing, and much love. Bye bye.